Hello and welcome everyone to the Risen Esports Dominate Premade Week 2 matchup between the Gwantawino Appreciation Squad and WPCP Esports. I am your play-by-play, it's Lemons, joined by my color, Gwantawino. Ready for these games, man. How are you feeling about today?
Pretty good. It's a nice day outside, which means it's a nice day for playing some esports with the boys, as we are already a decent amount of the way through the bans here so far.
We are. We do see on that blue side, we have the Darius, the Ornn, and the Morgana taken out. On the red side, we do see the Mordekaiser, Kiana, and Diana taken out. Some serious power picks being taken off the table with the insta-lock first pick of the Aphelios.
Yeah, I mean, no surprise there because Aphelios has just been so strong for a while now when he's in the right hands. And I mean, it's not too much different this patch, even though he did get some slight nerfs. It's not going to really hurt him all that much. The biggest nerf was probably the ultimate range nerf, but even then, it's still like 1,300 range, and that's massive. That's like double most long range 80 carries auto ranges.
For sure, and it's more than you really ever need, right? I mean, unless you're looking for those long shot trick shots, then you can deal with a little bit less range. Now, the set is the answer there for WPCP. Very interesting to see him going to be picked up in that first pick there. I like it. I do find it interesting. We have these two bad boys as the first pick coming in this series here. Gwantawino.
Yeah, although Aphelios is just kind of more like the edgy bad boy, like society, whereas that's just like he's kind of the Chad.
For sure. Now, Misfortune is going to follow up that set. So traditional ADCs being picked up here, as we've seen very heavily used in the meta here recently. It looks like it could be the Leona to go down with that Aphelios, which would provide a very, very strong bot lane for Gas.
Yeah, and Leona is one of 4000 IQ's most played supports, so no surprise they lock it in for him, since always good to be able to comfort pick, especially when said comfort pick is pretty decent meta pick right now.
Oh, for sure. And as soon as you start getting comfort, it starts feeling a lot better and you feel more comfortable because of the comfort in these games. And when you can choose those champions that you've been working on, that you have a lot of experience on, it makes those situations a lot easier to deal with, because you don't have to go through all those processes of decision making. You know what you can do, you know what you can accomplish. So gonna have to see how that turns out on the Rift there, as we do see Jarvan gonna be that last pick for GAS on that first phase. So getting a really nice setup for themselves here in that first phase as well. Bard going to be the pickup for WPCP here.
Bard is definitely interesting because he hasn't really fit in the meta for quite a while now, since he is a little bit oddball. He definitely does have some very strong suits for support. It's just there is a little bit of anti-synergy between the Bard ultimate and the Misfortune bullet time, since one mistimed Bard ultimate can really screw over a teamfight Wombo from this Misfortune. So we'll have to see. Granted, Bard does have an insanely strong early laning phase, especially like level 1. He can just walk up and well, not exactly insta-kill, but half health most AD carries with his combo. And it'll be interesting to see what rune Danish goes for on this Bard, since Bard does have quite a few options.
Yeah, for sure. Now we are getting through these second phase bans here. We did see the Rise taken out and the Victor by WPCP. The Swain ban coming through for Gas, as well as waiting on that last one. Some really different bans coming out here in the second part here. We do have some strong, especially AP mid laners coming out, like looking at that Rise, that late game, really strong carry, trying to make sure to pinch that pool a little bit for them. As Lissandra is going to be locked in here for WPCP. They're going with all the wonky picks. I like it.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. I mean, Lissandra, haven't really seen her in a while. She was meta quite some time ago, but I'm going to assume this is a bit of a comfort pick for Les Win here in the mid lane, since he is actually a Swain one trick, a very heavy one. And of course, that was banned away, so he's having to fall back on something else. And Lissandra, thankfully, fairly easy to execute. So we'll see how that works out, though, for him in the mid lane.
Yeah, and honestly, the thing I really like about Lissandra is her ability to roam. And with that being such a very strong potential in the meta right now, I want to see that come to fruition. I want to see the Lissandra be able to pop off and help their team. So we'll have to see if that's going to work out for them in Summoner's Rift there, as the Gnar is going to be picked up for Gas and waiting on their last pick here for the full team comp to come together, which is going to be that Rumble. So sticking with a lot of the picks we see, especially the meta picks we see in competitive.
Yeah, Rumble mid, and it looks like as well, since I assume that Gnar is going top lane against the set. And I mean, Rumble mid did receive some light nerfs a few patches ago, but as we could still see here, definitely a worthwhile pick in this meta. And if you trap someone with a great Jarvan Cataclysm or get a great Gnar ultimate, then you can just drop the Equalizer on them, and then they're just stuck there, sitting there in the Equalizer and just kind of dying pretty quickly. So it could make up for a pretty interesting wombo here for the side of Gas.
Yeah, and when you look at both of these teams, you see the Rek'Sai locked in as the last pick there for WPCP. Both teams are looking very strong. I mean, you look at the team fight potential at least, and it grows. I mean, you see the Othellos, you have the Leona. Obviously, Gas has a little bit more of the team fight potential, especially with the CC that they have in the lockdown. Being able to pair that with the Moonlight Vigil as well is going to be another really strong point for them. But when you look over at WPCP, you still like a lot of their parts. They have that bullet time for Misfortune. They have Lissandra that's going to be able to have that CC and that AoE for them. The other parts are going to be a little bit more finicky, and you have to make sure to execute it properly. But as a whole, their team comp is going to be a pretty strong one as well.
Yeah, for sure. Because, I mean, like you said, they have a lot of things that they can work with. The Rek'Sai gank paths early on, it's very hard to predict them, since Rek'Sai tunnels, you can kind of go over literally any wall and just take paths other junglers would only dream of. Then, of course, there's Lissandra roams, and then Bard tends to roam a lot because of the Chime passive and whatnot. So there could be quite a bit of a roaming death squad coming out from WPCP's side here. So that is going to be something that Gas is going to have to watch out for in game.
Yeah, it definitely is. And when you look at these junglers, I mean, you're looking at some skirmishing. You're looking at a Jarvan and a Rek'Sai, who Rek'Sai is going to be looking to get that early gold, get a little bit of an early snowball, especially being so strong in those early skirmishes. I expect WCP to take a very, very early stance here on Summoner's Rift, at least. I don't know if we'll see exactly a level 1. I don't think either team has a very strong level 1, but I'm excited to see a little bit of blood early, at least in this series, and really get us started right.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, WPCP has the potential for a very explosive level 1 if they get that Bard bind down with the Q. So might see some flashes there coming out from Danish. But like you said, neither team with really the strongest level 1, because after that Bard flash, you might not have the best follow-up from your team.
You pretty much got nothing. I mean, it obviously depends on what they want to take and whatnot, but I just feel like you just don't have that security. You don't have that second layer of, okay, we missed that one, we're still good. No, it's like you missed that one, we run for the hills.
Yeah. I mean, granted, it also depends on what the rest of his team starts out with, because if we see the Ring of Frost start from Les Win in the mid lane, or even Winnie Senpai starting off with the Unborrow on the Rek'Sai, there is potential for some pretty decent follow-up.
Yeah, very true, very true. Now, when we look at this game as a whole, we've gotten the composition set up already. Who are you really looking to right now, and who do you have your eyes on to really pop off in these games, for each team, at least?
A lot of it will definitely come down to the jungler's influence, since Rek'Sai and Jarvan both have pretty great early influence and ganking potential, so they can of course make a lot of magic happen. But also the bot lane is pretty explosive too, because we all know the Leona at level 2 all-in power, but
Yep.
also there is the chance that maybe the Bard Misfortune are just able to poke out that Leona and Aphelios before that level 2, or even get level 2 first themselves, and then deny that. So there is potential for a decent amount of action all around the map, except for maybe the mid lane. I don't think we're going to be seeing too many solo there. I mean, we'll probably definitely see some skirmishes in the mid lane, but I don't think there's going to be too many kills unless junglers get involved.
Yeah, for sure. And one thing I did want to point out as you were talking about the bot lane is, as you were saying, the Bard does have a early advantage, and I'm really looking for them to press that early advantage, because once you let Leona get settled in lane and have those levels and really have that CC, it gets that much harder, especially as a Bard, to really do anything. So I'm looking for them to try to get that step up early and use that to their advantage, because Misfortune can really be a powerhouse if you can get a little bit of gold under her, especially early on. Being able to get a decent amount of AD on her really, really helps with her abilities. So I'm looking to that end for them, for WPCP on the bot side of the map. But you do have to be careful, because as soon as Aphelios and Leona get into that groove, there are going to be a problem to deal with, at least.
Yeah, for sure. And especially if Bard goes out to roam, pick up some chimes, maybe look mid lane, that is going to be a huge deal, because Misfortune doesn't have any native escapes except for this strut. And so if your flash is on cooldown, that strut isn't really going to do anything for you against the CC lock that comes out from Leona. And even Aphelios, what with the, I forget what the slowy gun is called, but the purple one, the slowy one. I don't know. They have
The
weird names.
Graviton?
Maybe?
Something like that.
I don't know. So many Aphelios weapons
Purple,
to keep track
colors, go. Anyways, I just wanted to kind of run down these team compositions a little bit here. We do have Gnar in the top side for the side of Gas. We have Jarvan in the jungle, Rumble coming in that mid lane, Aphelios and Leona rounding out that bot lane. And then for the side of WPCP, we have Set in the top lane, Rek'Sai in the jungle, Lissandra in mid, and Misfortune and Bard in bot side. Everything's set up as well. Really interested to see how these runes come out. I want to see if we're going to see anything spicy, anything that you've been seeing in solo queue that you might get to see a little bit of today.
I'm kind of an ARAM one trick, so I can't really commentate on spicy solo queue things. Although the Gnar keystone will be interesting here for Benoina, since I have heard Gnar can use the prototype Omnistone, but also
Ooh.
Bard has just had, or not Bard, Gnar, pretty similar sounding names, but Gnar has historically had so many keystones he can use. There's been like
Yeah.
Grasp, there's been like Fleet. I think we've even seen Conquer a few times. And
Oh,
of
for
course, there's
sure.
always press the attack for the constant auto harass. So that is going to be definitely something to look out for and see if there's anything spicy. Bard also has pretty spicy keystone options, like I mentioned before. Electrocute is always an easy, well-rounded classic. I think some go airy, although it tends to be just a weaker Electrocute overall. And then, of course, there is always the Hail of Blades
I
build
was
where you
just
just like,
about to say.
yeah, because I think the Hail of Blades build on Bard does technically have the much better scaling at the cost of some laning power, since he
Yeah.
go that super easy Electrocute for that super easy extra, what, 100-ish damage?
Something like that. But that's going to be something we have to keep our eye out on. But with that being said, we are going to send it to a small little break here while we get through spectator delay. Do not go anywhere because we have this game 1 of this best of 3 series for the Dominate Premade Week 2 matchup between Gwantawino Appreciation Squad and WPCP Esports. We'll be right back.
And I thought,
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are here with the Dominate Premade Week 2 matchup between Gwantawino Appreciation Squad and WPCP Esports. We are on to Summoner's Rift, and so far, we don't see anything spicy, although we have a 4-man stack coming towards the bot lane. Might get a little bit of that level 1 we were talking about.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen, though, since Podrick will definitely see it coming from a mile away and can easily flash, so unless he's alt-tabbed out or checking his Discord, I don't think too much is going to happen. Although, I have to admit, I've never heard this spam from Aphelios, and I already don't like it.
True. Although, we do have a nice little duck on our screen who is so cute and just hanging out, waiting for the blood to be shed on Summoner's Rift, which is a little bit sad because you have this wonderful picture of environmental amazingness, and then you also have the champions that are going to bring blood to the Rift itself. But with that being said, as you said, we will not have this level 1. Nothing too crazy going to start off here. Right? That's what I was hoping for something, especially with the way our team compositions have kind of lined up. I was really hoping to get something going. But I did want to take a moment to look over these keystones as the junglers start on their respective buffs here. Don't see anything too crazy here. You do see the Presti attack on Aphelios on the bot side. And besides that, nothing really. I mean, you have like the aftershock coming in for the Lissandra, which is not going to be too crazy. It did go the electrocute on the Bard, so no plays of crazy. But level 2 gank coming in, gonna miss the flag and drag, unfortunately. Leswin just able to get out of that. Does have to flash, though. Is going to have that summoner spell down.
Yeah, pretty big, especially early on when you only really have the Lissandra Claw to get out. I mean, certainly isn't a bad way to get out. Much better than a lot of mage mid laners, but still, not having that flash for that instant whoopsie can be a pretty big deal. Not to mention, it won't matter right now since he'll probably get his flashback before he hits level 6, but Lissandra without flash kind of lowers the effectiveness of her ultimate a lot, since you can see her coming on the claw usually pretty well, and you can just fall back like, oh, let me just hustle on out of range real quick. Whereas if she has the flash, she just instantly flashes, instantly casts ultimate on you, and you're like, I guess I'll die.
Yeah, exactly. And when you see these kind of matchups, you do have to be careful. And as we see another gank coming in, knowing the flash isn't there, Flag and Drag's going to land on the other side of the claw. Leswin is going to be able to get out, though. That is that immediate gank. Didn't even level up. Rush said, I just want the kill. Is going to try to get in. Now it's Earl King putting some serious damage onto Leswin. Has to be careful.
Slow tempo, look out.
Yeah, really low Jarvan. Just going to walk straight into a Rek'Sai. That's going to be first blood going over. And Winnie Senpai able to pick that gold up.
Yeah, and that's kind of a huge deal because with all that time Rush slow tempo spent mid, it meant that Winnie Senpai, who was just spending that entire farming, was able to get a camp lead on him. But then he also figured like, he finished a gank mid and has 200 health. He's probably going to grab his Raptors and not back, so I'm just going to chill around here. And it's like, he got first blood on Rek'Sai, which is pretty good since Rek'Sai, she does want to snowball a little, doesn't exactly have the most amazing late game. It's not terrible, but you do kind of become a little bit of a knockup bot. So we'll have to see. As Winnie.
That's a 3-man gank coming through onto Earl King, and that's going to be the haymaker able to pick that up for Tree the Cat. And if you're asking for some help from your teammates, that's all you need. Leswin able to help his team secure that kill in the mid lane. And so far, we didn't think there were going to be a lot of fireworks mid lane, but that's where all the fireworks are going off as Rush Slow Tempo is going to take over Tree the Cat coming back to his lane here. He's going to be in some serious trouble. He's going to try to land a good haymaker here, but does flash. A little bit unexpected, actually. Thought maybe he wouldn't waste the flash there. As Leswin can't help him because he doesn't have any health. Haymaker's finally going to come out. Tree the Cat surviving for so long, but just ain't able to get anything. But the gank on the bot side by Winnie is not going to be successful here. Still trying to get Podrick. TP is going to come through from the Rumble. Are we going to see a turnaround here? Actually, it was the Gnar, unfortunately. I apologize for that. Danish going to get slowed down here as well. The Mega Gnar is going to be close. It's not enough. He doesn't have the throw there to secure that kill as Rush Slow Tempo was on the backside of that, trying to make sure they could secure anything.
Yeah, although still, that kind of brings up a good point that Earl King does not have the teleport and rumble this game since he did opt for that cleanse, which is going to help him a lot in the solo sense against this Lissandra because you just instantly cleanse the Glacial Prison every time, but still, or the Frozen Tomb, my bad. I always get Sejuani and Lissandra ultimates mixed up because they're so similar named. But not having that teleport for that prio in side lanes is going to be absolutely massive because, I mean, a lot of the reason you do pick that Rumble is like, yeah, let's have him teleport behind, let's have him drop an equalizer. It's a pretty big deal, and not having that in this game is going to be a big deal, especially if it comes to a situation where Leswin and Tree the Cat are both split pushing. Because then it's going to be a 4 versus 5, and Rumble, you don't want him to be the split push solo guy.
Yeah, exactly, and you have to keep an eye on that, and I want to see the big difference between taking that cleanse and the TP. I want to see the use of the cleanse really come in clutch for Earl King. But so far, I mean, we do see a lot of prio being put on the mid lane, trying to make sure that you can get one of these people ahead. A lot of attention at least paid to the mid lane as well, but Les been able to get a little bit of a push here on the crashing wave, but still a little bit down on the CS there. You got to be careful not to get too far behind of Earl King on this Rumble.
Yeah, for sure. Although it is certainly going to help because there was actually a very early Ocean Dragon picked up for the side of Gas. So that's going to help out immensely in this early laning phase, just having all that constant health regen. So we'll have to see if that does have some effects since Leswin in the mid lane, oh, the Gnar, actually.
Yeah, gonna use the ultimate just to make sure to get the use out of it while he was still in the Mega Gnar form. Tree the Cat gonna take some damage from it, but able to shield up a decent amount from the minions as well. So
Ooh,
a little bit of a
mid.
1-2. Yeah, we're gonna have to see as Earl King runs away. They come in from the top side. As you do see Danish roaming around, trying to get those charms, hoping to leave Kitsune down on the bot side without leaving a death as well. So we're going to have to see. They are pushing Kitsune off of the tower, though. And as you were saying, taking advantage of the drones from Bard, being able to push your aggression while he's looking for those charms.
Yeah, although it is going to result in a lot of damage on that bot tower. Because, I mean, Misfortune probably... Oh, Leswin.
Leswin's going to catch out Rush slow tempo, but he's getting super low here. Gonna have to use the ultimate as the Zenith Blade is gonna connect there as the stun onto Winnie as well. He's gonna go down. That's Ekpadric picking up the kill. Now Kitsune is out in no man's land, gonna be taken out as well. That's a double kill to the Abelios, and exactly who you want the gold to go to for Gas.
Yeah, and that was just tragic for the side of WCSP because it looks so close with how low Rush slow tempo got after the Leswin Frozen Tomb there, but it's just a matter of, sure, he's low, but Winnie the Senpai was going in solo versus 3-4 people, depending on what time of the fight you look at, and then Kitsune just coming in on the Misfortune. It's like, you're not going to do too much better either, so tragically, 2 members get baited to their death, and a 2-kill Aphelios, now with a bit of a CS lead, and got some gold from those plates as well. He has roughly a 1,000 gold lead right now on Kitsune, which is really massive for this point in the game.
I think my biggest qualm with that fight was the positioning. And Kitsune realizing that the rest of his team was in their jungle side, but he came around the bot through the bot lane and just was completely all alone. So those are the things you got to look to clean up, because you got to make sure you know where your teammates are and where they can provide you with help. Because once you get cut out like that, especially on a Misfortune, you're done. There's not, besides a flash, you've got nothing that's going to get you out of it.
Yeah, unless you can pop the strut and then somehow dodge literally everything like it got. But that is almost certainly impossible, because 1 ticket damage, unless it's DOT damage, will take that away and you're suddenly down 100 move speed. Ooh, 4,000 IQ, trying to use the Hex Flash, but not going to be too much.
Oh, Solar Flare is going to come down, as well as the Moonlight Vigil. Just not enough to take down Kitsune, though. They really wanted it.
Yeah, although a bit of that was Kitsune just not respecting, like, oh, the Hex Flash and Zenith Blade are down, let me walk up. And you have to remember, there's the Solar Flare. Tree the Cat, though, he's looking for this. He has a Rek'Sai.
Cataclysm's going to come through, as well as the Showstopper. On to Rush Low Tempo. That's going to be the jungler going down. The Rift Herald does get reset there. as they're going to turn back onto it. Actually, no, they're going to turn away from it and look to just go back to their respective lanes here as they are able to pick up the jungler for gas. Rush Low Tempo just getting caught out.
Yeah, and it looked kind of cool in theory, but just an instant collapse from those two members, and Rush Low Tempo wasn't exactly the highest on health. Tree the Cat has to be careful, though. Those are adding up. He does have the cavalry coming.
Yeah, Winnie Senpai is here, but the Gnar did go mega, and he was able to get the knock up into the wall, but he's getting super low here. Void Rush is going to come through. That's going to be it for the Gnar. Is he going to be able to pick up a kill on the backside, though? Not able to, as Winnie Senpai is able to pick up that kill. It is 3-4 in favor of WPCP.
Yeah, and Tree the Cat just baiting like a madman there, or an unintentional madman.
Oh no, Danish.
Yeah, thankfully it is Bard though, so he probably has some shrine set up, and he can pick those up to heal, because those actually heal you for a pretty decent amount on Bard, because you do tend to build a lot of AP on Bard. So yeah, but we'll have to yeah.
But my biggest thing with that is usually that works out so well for the Bard. You see Bards do that all the time where they just play super aggressive to get that one trade down where it does a lot of damage because of their AP. But in that situation, X-Podrick has the gold. He was like, bring it, turned around and just traded down half of Bard's health. Obviously, yes, you said they do have that healing, but that is the aggression you like to see from Podrick.
And it also does help that he does have that fully completed Essence Reaver, because that is a huge amount of attack damage right now, and you got a free little 25% crit in that trade. That's also a pretty big deal. But yes, they're going to be able to get this Rift Herald, and they were also able to get themselves a second dragon as well as the Solar Flare.
Solar Flare is going to land onto Tree the Cat. He's going to get brought down. Actually uses the Showstopper to get out with the from the Haymaker. They're trying to turn around, but the Cataclysm is going to come down and shut down Tree the Cat. But the turnaround kill onto the two members of Gas. They are going to take down Gnar and Jarvan. The ultimate's coming through from Podrick and Kitsune. It's going to be a trade of kills on the bot side. Podrick going on a killing spree, but Kitsune able to pick up that shutdown.
Yeah, and that's pretty big in the bot lane. Sure, it was a trade for 80 carries, but keep in mind, that was a shutdown that Kitsune was able to pick up himself. Not to mention, Danish was there for the EXP and gold, and he's even getting a push in on this tower for some extra gold out of that. So pretty good play on them, but in the top lane, that's why you have to be careful against Set when you gank him, because we saw the Gnar ultimate come out, and he was able to dodge that with the Showstopper, and you have to layer that CC so well. And speaking of CC layering, here comes a Leona.
4,000 IQ is all over the map right now. Leswin, they're actually going to get popped golden by the ultimate from Danish. Isn't going to buy enough time, though, as they going to come through. They do get the knockup, though. Winnie Senpai able to come through, but the Equalizer was able to do a ton of damage. Void Rush going to come through, though, able to pick up Earl King. Now the fight is continuing onto Rush Low Tempo. The Zenith Blade is going to connect on the Danish. They do get the stun on the 4,000 IQ as well. Just not enough damage, though, as they are able to pick up a kill in that fight.
Yeah, and I was surprised that Leswin opted to go into that Tempered Fate, but it worked out in the end for him, able to get all that damage down alongside Winnie Senpai, who is able to finish off the Rumble of Earl King with that Void Rush. And that's pretty big, because now it's 5 to 8 in kills, I think, with the 2k gold.
Beniona is just going out of Megadar form. Does have Rush Low Tempo here. Tree the Cat's going to have to try to run away. The Haymaker is not going to land there. Does give him the big old shield, but is it going to be enough to get him to the tower? Flag and Drag not available, though. TP is going to come through from the Lissandra. Are we going to see anything more happen here, as Leswin does show up, but unable to do anything, as the roams have been insane in this game, Gofrino?
Yeah, I mean, look, Danish is even top lane too with those Mobies. Granted, if you look in the bot lane, that does mean that this Misfortune is having to play safe once again under tower, and that could be a lot of disasters in the making. But top lane dive tapping.
Yeah, the top lane turret's going to go down as well, but on the bot side, we have the dive as well. The Solar Flare is going to come through. Podrick able to pick up that, but the return kill going over. Then on the top side, Jarvan goes down. Next to go down is going to be Tree the Cat. Actually, they get the turnaround. It's going to be Beniona who goes down, and Tree the Cat is a monster on this set.
Yeah, just able to bait out so much, and that's the power of the Haymaker. Just that massive shield you get is so hard to deal with unless you have the burst to absolutely shred through it. And It's just going to be tower taking mania all around the map here, but WPCP able to come out on top with the first tower blood, not to mention also another tower to their name. Have to see what else happens though, because keep in mind there is still Rift Herald available to rush slow tempo here, and he did die for that once before he got it, so he's gonna really want to make this worth it, because they invested quite a bit into that Rift Herald, and they're currently not winning the turret game.
Yeah, for sure. We did get to see that mountain dragon fall, so now it is 2 dragons for the side of Gas. Obviously, the first 2 dragons, a lot of people say they're not that important, that you can give them up, but that does mean that we're going to have the Infernal Soul on the Rift. With the Infernal Dragon coming up here very, very soon, I expect both teams to put a little bit more priority around those objectives now starting out. But as the game state is right now, it is WPCP just out in head by a lot, by almost 4,000 gold. Now, Rift Herald was spawned here by Gas, but it's not going to do anything as Rush Slow Tempo is going to get dragged in.
Gonna have a fight.
Gonna turn on the Cataclysm though. Moonlight Vigil is gonna follow that up as well. The damage is there. Haymaker's gonna save Tree the Cat though, as 2 members are stunned up by the Bard. Bullet time is not gonna land, unfortunately, because of that Bard ultimate. And just as you were talking about in the draft, that's one of the things you have to work on, the communication between those 2 ultimates.
Yeah, and that is a 1-for-0 in the favor of Gas here. And Smite was even used by Winnie the Senpai to get that Rift Herald. So a lot of Dragon priority, a lot of ultimates being down. But WPCP has something to say about it.
They definitely do. Rush Slow Tempo is getting real ill. Who's going to win the Smite fight? It's actually Aphelios who picks it up. Winnie Senpai is going to go down after that. It is the entire team going to be wiped here as WPCP is running for the hills. As Beniona is taking some serious trading damage there as well, but that's going to be a 3rd dragon, and they could possibly have Soul Point at 21 minutes here, Go Frito.
Yeah, and that'd be absolutely huge, because they were down in the gold prior to this, but they did have the dragons, and now on Elder Point as well. Oh,
Beniona gets out! Beautiful! That was some great teamwork there. I love it. Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yep. Last one. I don't think he knows there's a Leona right there, but
I just love how aggressive both these teams have been playing this entire game. They don't want to give up. They want to keep fighting. They're looking for the ends for each engagement, and that's what you like to see. You love to see the minds working, those gears turning at least.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at both of these team comps, they definitely aren't the types of team comps where you just kind of sit back and wait. No, like, you have a Gnar, you have a Jarvan, you have a Rumble, you have Leona, there's Lysandra, a Rek'Sai, and a Set. Like, all of those picks want to fight and start fights, so we're just kind of seeing the picks doing what they want to do, and kind of led to a lot of bloodshed so far. A total of 20 kills at 18 minutes in. That's over a kill a minute.
It is, and we highlighted that a little bit before the game started. We expected there to be a lot of blood in this game, and there has been. That poor little duck is drenched over there, the one that we saw at the beginning of the game. But we are still at a pivotal moment in the game. Neither team is really out in head by a lot. And yeah, Dragon Soul Point is coming up, but you can still lose those fights on Dragon, as Meganar is going to come out, and that's doing some serious work on a Tree the Cat. He does have Haymaker available. Is going to pop it, but Beniona is still looking very healthy here. Showstopper is going to come through, though. Beniona is getting dropped. Tree the Cat masterfully handing the mechanical skill of Set, just showing us how it's done over and over again.
Yeah, and that's actually another Rift Herald being started up here by Gas. Winnie trying to say something.
Winnie tried to get in there, but was a little bit too early. The TP is going to come. Solar Flare is going to stop the bullet time, but that is going to be a steal coming through. Tree the Cat able to pick up the Rift Herald there, but the fight is not going to go their way afterwards. Dana's trying to get out with his life, but it's going to be the full team chasing him down, as that is a pentakill for X-Podrick. They are turning it on. The gas is real.
Yeah, and what started over just a single Rift Herald is now spiraled into a full-on penta. This is an 11-1 and one Aphelios, Lemons. Like, he is doing so much damage right now, and he's just getting even more damage with these Infernals and all this gold he's getting from these objectives.
Yeah, I mean, he is just so far out in front. He's almost got a 4,000 gold difference on his opposing ADC, and as Kitsune, that just feels so bad. And you know that the difference is in these team fights, the damage that he was able to put out, especially in those cramped corridors where you're trying to fight a 5v5 team fight. He just excels. And yes, the Moonlight Vigil went a little bit wonky, but after that, the damage follow-up was there, and they were able to just clear it out. Now, Tree the Cat was able to pick up that Rift Herald, though, so Leswin does have that available, but the full team wipe feels just a little bit insurmountable as they are able to take the gold lead for the side of Gas.
Yeah, and that Rift Herald, even if you get a double tower with it, that's still not going to really come... Well, it's not going to match the amount of gold that Gas just got from that team fight, because they picked up so many kills there, including a shutdown or two, if I'm not mistaken. And then they also got a tower off the back of it. You know, so much damage that can come out from the set, especially with that Haymaker.
Yeah, and having finished that Trend Force and having the pickaxe in inventory as well just adds that little extra damage, and Benio just can't deal with it right now. Does have the peel ability though. You have to be careful though, because it doesn't matter if you peel if you get ganked, as Rush Low Tempo is going to come in as well. The Flag and Drag's not going to connect there, but they are turning the damage. Showstopper is going to come through. That is some great execution from Tree the Cat, using the Showstopper to take down the opposing Gnar, as Rush Low Tempo is looking to go back in. X-Podrick is there. He has a ton of damage, but is it going to be enough? He does! That's going to be a double kill going over to Podrick and getting so much more as well. The legendary status of this Aphelios is showing through in this game.
Yeah, and that stopwatch literally bought Rush Slow Tempo an extra life there with the time they got him, because he would have died there either way, but still, that's now going to be another Infernal Dragon picked up here for the side of Gas, and that's going to be Elder alongside the oh god, the Infernal Soul. ARAM player, by the way.
For sure, for sure. Now, when you give that Infernal Soul to a member like Aphelios, who is 12-1-2, that gets that much more scary, as he is going to blow people up. And if you thought that pentakill was impressive, it's going to get even more impressive, as the damage is just going to be unstoppable from him. He's getting close to that fourth item as well, so gonna have to keep an eye on that, as we do see Rush Slow Tempo going in aggressively onto Winnie. Does have some backup here, but both sides do, and Rush Slow Tempo is going to be very, very low. Misused the Flag and Drag. Void Rush is going to come out, and that's going to be Rush Slow Tempo going down. That is a huge mistake that could have cost your team a lot, as 4,000 IQ is going to get out there. The Rumble is going to show up as well. Bullet Time's going to come through in this nice little spot, but Beniona is able to clear that up. Although the shutdown going from onto X-Podrick, shutdown onto Rek'Sai at least. And now the turnaround here, Tree the Cat just has tons of damage, able to take down Beniona as well. And looking for more here, as the flash going to come through, the Face Breaker is going to pull back Earl King. Oh, that was so close to the Haymaker picking up that kill. He still wants it. He doesn't care. He wants to try to continue this, as Haymaker is going to be back up, but they've got to be careful not to overextend themselves here.
Yeah, and Danish might actually die here if we see the Flag and Drag.
Let's see. Hey, got it that time. Cataclysm's got to come out. Danish staying way too long. Zenith Blade's not going to connect. You are chasing a set, so we'll have to see. Rush Slow Tempo does have the speed. He does have the angle. Going to get the Flag and Drag over. He wants to try and catch him. I don't know why he's not taking the stronger angle here. Now, none of them are, and that kind of worries me. But Tree the Cat's going to get caught out anyways. That is going to be a kill given over to Earl King.
So in the end, it is a 5-for-3 in the favor of Gas, actually, even though the initial fight was a 3-for-3 heavily in the favor of WPCP.
Oh my
Winnie Senpai.
Yeah, Rush Slow Tempo is all over the map right now. We thought the same earlier from the side of WPCP, but now it is the side of Gas who is just turning it on again and able to pick up all of those kills, get that gold, and now turning their eyes onto the Baron.
Yeah, because without a jungler in the way or the Fed set, this is a pretty easy pickup with the Infernal Soul. Not to mention also that 13-2 Aphelios helps quite a bit. But there's the Gnar.
Yeah, Moonlight Vigil was used, but Gnar's going to go over as well as the Equalizer, and that is just unfortunate. Every member that tries to accomplish anything for WPCP just gets blown up. There's no chance. and they are going to be able to take this Baron under the vision of WPCP. They do get the golden for a little bit afterwards, but they were able to secure that. So you got to be careful. Although, I got to ask what Kitsune was doing, because he's on the wrong side of the map.
Yeah, he was trying to get that bullet time to get a really sick thing, but all the members hopped over the wall and kind of cut off his escape. So we'll have to see. He does at least get the execution and waste some time, but that isn't really going to mean a lot in the grand scheme of things, since you're now facing the Infernal Soul with those 4 dragons. You're also having to deal with the Baron buff on the table right now, and the most he wasted was like 20 seconds.
Yeah, and with a death timer that's over that 20 seconds, that's just a little bit questionable for sure. But we see the Baron buff being used here, trying to get some minions pushing, trying to get that map presence, although not being used to the fullest extent that it could be. I did see Xpodric farming in the jungle for a little bit with that Baron buff. I feel like that's a cardinal sin. So the Nosebreaker is going to come out, or Facebreaker, apologize, as well as the Haymaker. Showstopper as well, using everything in his kit, trying to get out, but it's not going to be enough. They just have too much damage, especially with that Infernal Soul. And now it is looking like the base might just fall apart here, as Gas is knocking on the doorstep to this in
Cataclysm.
Cataclysm is going to come through with the flash, able to get the double kill on the Moonlight Vigil. It is Xpodric, the one, the only, the damage dealer here for Gas, able to take down everyone, and they're just going to push themselves into the base, take this mid inhib tower, and have their way with Summoner's Rift.
Yeah, and that could very well be the game here. It is only Winnie Senpai up right now. Granted, not very much of a wave right here for Gas to work with.
I don't care.
They do have a minion at least, and Winnie Senpai, he's doing his best to stop the waves, and it seems to be working. Granted, it still costs one of those Nexus turrets, and they're still losing in the top lane right now.
Yeah, very, very good macro play, especially the map play coming out from Gas there. Able to really use the Baron to their fullest extent. Although there is a little Winnie Senpai there just hanging out. Just so close to being caught out, but just not, and you gotta love it. I love having the bird's eye view, being able to see all the mistakes and everything from the top view, because you get to see things like that, and it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, although what's not a beautiful thing is the state of WPCP's base right now, because it's been blown wide open. I believe there is still a little bit of Baron buff left, but the Elder Dragon's coming up in about 10 anyways, so Gas is probably going to secure that one super easily, and then just look to end with that.
You see, though, WPCP is heading that way, looking to cause a fight for it, but they decide they want to turn it anyways. Gas just decided to go all in immediately. Equalizer is going to be used on the Danish, as well as the Moonlight Vigil is going to land. Kitsune caught out again in the side, not where he needs to be, and that could cost the game here, as Void Rush is going to go through. Kitsune leaves the game. That is going to be a surrender coming through, and Gas able to put their pedal to the metal and get the game over with. 30-16, they blew this game out of the water.
Yeah, it was really even for so long, and then even WPCP had a decent lead themselves, that 4K gold lead early on, but they just kind of were losing around the objectives, and then we saw that pentakill go over to Xpodric's Aphelios here, and it was just all downhill from there for WPCP.
16-2 on the Aphelios with an insane amount of damage as well comparatively to the rest of the team. Set really close to out damaging him, but 25k damage there in a 28-minute game. Feels real good, man, coming for the side of Gas. But on the other side, we still have a best of 3 series. You've got to pull it together and come back into this for WPCP, as that is not the way you want the first game to go.
Yep.
Well, so we just got a little bit of an update. Unfortunately, that is going to be it for this series, I believe. We did just get some information that WPCP has to forfeit the rest of this series because of some IRL emergencies. So we apologize for that, but that will be it here for that game. What a game it was, though, Gwantawino, as I want to break it down just a little bit before we set it off.
Yeah, I mean, 46 kills actually in the span of only 28 minutes is rather insane.
It really is, and honestly, I felt like the sleeper in the whole thing. I mean, obviously until the end, especially when the Dragon Soul was taken, but Podrick didn't have a big lead at the beginning. Was kind of just playing in Aphelios, having a good time, not doing anything too crazy. And then all of a sudden, kills, gold, pentakill comes through. And then you're like, all right, Podrick is the man of the team. He's going to carry them to the mountain. He's going to win the golden trophy. I think that this man just popped off. The other side of the story is, though, Tree the Cat on the set was a monster. Yes, 7-7 does not reflect that. But this man was taking 2v1s the entire game and coming up with the better end of it. I love to see that. And yes, it is unfortunate we don't get to see the rest of the series, but I'm keeping my eye on Tree the Cat.
Yeah, for sure. Because, I mean, that was a very impressive performance coming out from him. Because, I mean, Set is still somewhat relatively new, and people still are figuring him out a tiny bit. And to put that sort of performance this early on in the Set champion cycle, pretty damn good.
Yeah, exactly. Now, breaking down this game a little bit, it was Gas who came out on top. They are going to win the best of 3 series because of a forfeit. Unfortunately, some IRL emergencies did come up for the side of WCP. But with that being said, I do have to say, we had one game. I think I'm going to have to give the MVP to Podrick. That's just my personal opinion. Just want to see what you thought. Go Freno.
What? Yeah, no, Podrick definitely a series MVP for the whole entire game series.
For sure. All 3 games, baby. He was just insane. No, but with that being said, we are going to call it a day here. An unfortunately short day, but it was a fun one as we had an action-packed 28-minute game there with all kinds of pop-offs from both sides. But like I said, that is going to be it from us here today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you join us next time as we will be right back here on the Risen channel tomorrow. And we will see you then and see you next time on Summoner's Rift.